how to practice self-care. For some people, self-care sounds a little bit selfish, but it's not. It actually lays the foundation for us being able to find and carry out our purpose in life. It lays the foundation for us to be able to connect with others in meaningful ways and to feel the fulfillment that we're supposed to feel with our unique set of skills and gifts. If you want to know the right way to just practice simple self-care in your life so that you're a happier and more fulfilled person, that is what I'm going over with you today. But first, check and see if you're a subscriber here, and if not, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell. The bell just tells YouTube that you want to know the next time that we've dropped a video to help you live a happier and more fulfilled life. I'll be right back.
GILD Coaching. More success, less stress.
Practicing self-care might seem selfish, but it's really not. Self-care is the key to giving yourself the emotional and physical stamina to bring all that you have to the world. It also helps us develop a positive and appropriate sense of self-esteem and resilience. Self-care is the key to all of those things. But first, we really need to talk about, how do you define yourself? Is it you? Is it what you look like? Is it what you have? Is it what you own? My definition of self is who I am at the core and everything in my universe, because everything that I interact with helps to make me, me. So yes, my home, my animals, my family, friends, my greater community, clients, all of those have an impact on self. When you really define what that word means to you, and you don't have to adopt my definition, come up with your own, but when you really define what that word means to you, then you're going to have a better idea of what you need to do to take care of it, to practice self-care for your definition of what self is. Now, I've had people tell me, oh, I feel really selfish when I'm practicing self-care. So let's get really clear on how to set up a positive and long sustainable self-care routine. And I'm not going to say, go do this, and go do this every day, because you have to build your own self-care routine to match the rhythm of your life. You can go online and search for self-care routines from different famous people that you admire or whatever, but those people have their routines and you need to have yours. What works for their life might not automatically just transfer into yours because you have a much different life than those people do. Even if you have similar financial situations or similar jobs or whatever, you're still a different person with different needs and values. So really make sure that you understand that self is what you define it to be, and that you have your own unique rhythm and you deserve your own unique self-care routine. All right, self-care might feel selfish, but it's really not. The only time I think that self-care should feel selfish is when you're being overindulgent, and that's not really self-care. Self-care does not mean self-indulgence. So I've had people say, oh, well, I went and got myself a full body massage and a manicure and a pedicure and I did a whole day of self-care. Okay, that's great. I like all those things, so please do not hear me telling you to not go get a massage or to not do a mani or a pedi or whatever. Do all those things. I love them. But treating yourself to a day every now and again is not self-care. That's just a treat. Self-care is more about the rhythm, and there's that word again, I'm using that rhythm of your life. It's more about the rhythm of how you live. Self-care and self-indulgence are two totally different things. Indulge every now and again. Go ahead and do that. You deserve a treat. So do I. But that's not the same thing. The heart and soul of self-care, and if you're taking notes, write this down. The heart and soul of self-care is boundaries and appropriate limits. What will you do? What won't you do? What communication will you accept? What communication will you not respond to? How do you mind your own limits? Now you can take a look at this video description. GILD Coaching has a program. called Freedom by Design. It's all about boundaries. It's all about healthy boundaries, time management, and how to really get that part of life in line. It's very low cost. You can do it as a self-study, or you can add private coaching in with me or Coach Kendra or Coach Sean for that. But check that out, because that program may be for you if you do have a problem with having appropriate boundaries. So what are boundaries? Boundaries are where I end and another person begins. So if you have someone in your life, a family member, your in-laws, a neighbor, a friend who is constantly after you to follow their agenda, and they don't really care about what's best for you or what the timing is for you, and they're really just in it for themselves, that's a boundary issue. We also have our boundary assessment. So you can also go down into the video description and check out the link for our free boundary assessment. And that can help you see, what areas of my life do I need better limits? Now, these limits can be what you will or will not accept from other people, but they're also what you will and will not accept to and from yourself. So perhaps a healthy boundary could be, limiting electronics time for yourself so that you can have time to wind down. Maybe a good limit could be, every hour or two you tell yourself, oh, it's time to get up and move and stretch. And you're going to limit how long you're going to sit there at a desk and work. There are positive limits like that, and all of these are little elements of self-care. So I have 4 areas where you really need to look at what you need to be the best version of yourself, because that's the whole point of self-care. And that's why it's not selfish. The reason self-care is not selfish is because with a positive, proper self-care rhythm in your life, you are always bringing your best self to the table. Does that make sense? So if you're not getting enough sleep, or you're not taking care of yourself physically, or you're not giving yourself the things that you need, hydration, food, enjoyment, then you're simply not practicing a good rhythm of self-care. And you have to have that rhythm in your life. Okay, so here are the 4 areas that I want you to think about. And after you're done with this video, I just want you to turn everything off for a minute, get out some paper and a pen, and I really want you to go through these 4 areas and ask yourself, what do I need in these areas to be the best version of myself? So that's your exercise. That's your question. What do I need in these areas to be the best version of myself? The 4 areas are very simple. The first one is daily. What do I need on a daily basis to be the best version of myself? I remember one of my first conversations with my husband when we very first met, before we were even dating. We there was that little spark, and we were starting to move in that direction. And he asked me this great question: what do you need every day to be the best version of yourself? And I thought, oh my gosh, have you been listening to my stuff? He had not. But I said, I really need to get up early and have some quiet time with myself, my self-care routine. I really need at least 30 to 45 minutes of cardio, and I need a good stretch. Just me by myself. This was not me as a single mom at the time. This wasn't, what did I need to do for my daughter? What did I need to do for work? Thinking about me, just me, the person of who I am. What did I need on that daily basis? And then I asked him the same question, and he gave me the answer. And I loved that, because our relationship began with us knowing what the other person needed as an individual in order to have a successful day. So daily is your first area. Your second area is weekly. What do I need on a weekly basis? So a week is made up of 7 days. So if you're giving yourself everything that you need on a daily basis, is there anything else in that week that you would really enjoy? So an example of that is, on a daily basis, I don't need to go and have lunch with a friend every day, or a meaningful exchange with a friend, or a lot of entertainment or outings. But on a weekly basis, it would be really, really great if I could have one meaningful conversation with a friend that didn't have to do with work. So those are the things that you're looking for. Okay, if I do this daily self-care and I get all of these items for myself daily, and the end of the week, if I'm still feeling like something's missing, what's missing? So that's your weekly self-care list. Then I want you to make a seasonal self-care list. So in the spring, in the summer, in the fall, in the winter, what are the things that you need to feel your best? So you're meeting your daily needs, you're meeting your weekly needs, but seasonally, I know that in the spring, I always love to start the spring with a fresh pedicure because I start to wear sandals and my toes are out there, and it helps make me feel confident that I have pretty toes that are well taken care of. What do you need on a seasonal basis for you to feel your very best? In the fall and winter season, I love to do a lot of baking. I like to gift food, baked items, and I like to decorate cookies, so I know that I need to set aside some time for that hobby, for that love of mine. What do you need in the different types of year? A lot of people have seasonal affective disorder. That means that when the weather changes and your exposure to light changes, sometimes it affects their mood. So during winter months, when there's not as much sunlight and people aren't going outside as much because of cooler temperatures possibly, maybe you need to build some sunlight into your life during that season. And then the fourth area is annually. On an annual basis, what do you need to know you have in your life as a form of self-care to make you have your best year ever? That is how you can figure out what your self-care rhythm is. Make sure that you have the boundaries to support your self-care routine, and make sure that you're not missing any pieces because you're taking care of yourself daily, weekly, seasonally, and annually. If this video has helped you figure out self-care at all, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're here, and make sure that you click that subscribe button and the bell before you go so that you'll learn the next time that we drop a video like this to help you live a more successful, happier life.